Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode, I am going to be going over the Serpent's Cove. Before I continue, linked below are some referral links to some survey sites, and there is the Naked and Afraid Brazil XL survey if you want to check those out. I'm going to be starting another survey soon for who do you want to see on a Naked and Afraid Castaways, but I kind of want to finalize the list first, and I've also been overwhelming everybody with surveys, so I just want to wait a little bit longer before doing that, but I'll finish that up and you'll be seeing links to that soon. Now, on to the episode, we have a challenge that takes place in the Philippines and Sinago Cove in the northeastern coast. We have our survivalists, William and Ashley. William hates snakes, is a combat veteran who lives off the grid, and his starting PSR is a 6.9. And Ashley is a farmer from Saskatchewan, Canada. Her starting PSR is a 6.1, and she has a bug net. They are also given a pot and a fire starter to start out, and they start their journeys, and they talk about themselves, and we get a lot of Ashley's backstory about being a farmer, and she's used to colder climates, and how it was snowing in Saskatchewan before she left. And she also collects samples from bulls. I'll leave it at that. And she also helps cows become pregnant, and I'll leave that at that. In the episode, there's more detail to that, so watch the full episode to get all that information. But anyway, the environment is humid, but luckily they get to a beach. There's a nice spring there for them to drink from, and they find a nice cave, but there's some creepy crawlies in there, but they get rid of those, and they set everything up, and William is worried about snakes, but luckily there's no snakes at the moment, and they make a nice little platform for themselves, and they get a fire going to keep all the insects and other creatures away. And we go on to the next day, and Ashley had gotten really sunburned, so she makes a poncho out of the bug net to try to cover her skin up a little bit, because sunburns are not great, and the fact that she has to be out there for 21 days in that type of environment, probably not very fun. And then Ashley gets a hermit crab as bait so that the fish trap that William built can be baited. So there's also a nice moment where we get William hosting. He hosts a few segments throughout the episode, but we actually finally get some how-to for these survival challenges, because we don't really get a, hey, this is what you do with this is what you do with this. And it was nice to, oh, that's how you build a fish trap. We don't have to just watch and not know. I'm sure in past challenges there have been individuals who are like, oh yeah, build a fish trap, weave the vines and whatnot, but it's nice to have a little bit more in-depth teachings about survival techniques and whatnot. And so they set up the fish basket with the hermit crab as bait, and to hopefully try to catch a fish. And unfortunately on day 3, when they check the fish trap, there's nothing there, but Ashley sees a snake, and William takes it on, and they have snake for dinner. But it starts to rain on night 3, and it's still raining on day 4, but they manage to get their fire back. On day 5, it rains again, but then it stops raining by day 6. And William gets a sea urchin, and so that was nice for their stomachs to get that necessary protein. And then we jump to day 8 as the hunt for food continues, and for some reason the fish trap gets slimy and moldy, so it is not usable anymore, which is very unfortunate because William worked very hard on it. And then most of the rest of the episode is dedicated to this mouse that William dubs Mr. Whiskers, and so William builds a figure 4 unalive fall trap. It has a different name, but I don't know if I could say that word on YouTube, but it's a figure 4 unalive fall trap. So you basically build a figure 4 with sticks, and you have a rock on top of it, and once the trigger mechanism is triggered, the big rock falls down on whatever is underneath it. And so he builds the figure 4 trap, and over the course of several nights, the mouse keeps triggering it, but isn't caught. And so William gets a little bit upset about it. But then finally, after changing the rocks and changing a few things around, finally on day 19, they get the mouse. So they get some nice protein. So that was a big win for them. And also the survival kit segment is dedicated to another William hosting segment, and it's called When Nature Calls. I'll let your imagination take over with that one. And so after the survival kit segment in day 19, we go to day 21, and it's extraction day. Hooray! William and Ashley have made it to extraction. And so they do some hiking through the forest, and then they do a little swimming, and they make it through the challenge. And William also made shoes for himself because the rocks were sharp. And so they both fortunately make it through the challenge. Ashley lost 13 pounds and her PSR goes from 6.1 to 6.4. And William lost 15 pounds and his PSR goes from 6.9 to 7.3. All in all, a really good episode. William and Ashley worked really well together. They didn't really have moments of arguing with one another. I wonder if they did catch more food, but they really wanted to focus on that mouse. And I really enjoyed the William hosting segments where he's like, this is how you do this. This is how you make a fish trap. This is how you make the figure 4 trap. This is what you do when nature calls, that kind of thing. And so I can see him maybe hosting his own show. And Ashley was a good team player as well, helping out and being supportive. And so that is the end of the episode. Thank you all so much for listening. Please like, comment nice things, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Okay, bye-bye.